Yeah, hi. That was a really crappy fight and even a crappier decision last night, wasn't it? Anthony, I'm talking, of course, about Anthony Joshua versus Joseph Parker. Before this fight, I had a feeling that Parker was going to, do something like special, make a statement, and I think he did really because I think most people were expecting Joshua just to destroy him and walk him down, and he sure hell didn't do that. So yeah, you know how it is. But of course, that decision was really crap. I mean, I was incensed. First of all, Joshua didn't really take off. I mean, until the ninth round. Come on, the ninth round. Before that, in the sixth round, they both kind of hurt each other, and a couple more times after that, the eighth, perhaps, I think. But Parker was making Joshua miss all the time, and he also landed some good punches. Even though he's just too small to really hurt a guy like Joshua. He did actually hurt him a few times, a couple times at least. But Joshua is so big that he just managed to tie him up and just kind of wrestle him down until he recovered. And then, because Parker set a high pace from the start, that may have been a mistake. And so he tired, especially after round 10, he really, slowed down. But still, I don't think Joshua won more like than 5 or maybe 6 rounds actually in that fight. I think those corrupt judges, they gave him every fight every round, sorry, that Parker didn't really, really dominate, and so he really perhaps dominated, but he did, I think, clearly win more than 2 rounds for sure. I think he won like 7 or at least 6 rounds. So it was a close fight anyway, much closer than the judges had it, a whole lot closer. So this kind of opens a lot of questions about Joshua, of course. This Parker, he has speed. That was his main advantage last night. He's got speed, and he's also rather tricky, He's got this weird kind of stance, almost like Ken Norton had or something, someone like him. And so that was this was obviously a bad stylistic matchup for Joshua, and it was just a very important fight, and Joshua didn't want to risk anything. That was obvious. He didn't want to risk much anyway. So he just waited. He knew that if he only kind of won, a few rounds and lasted to the end, that he would be given a decision. He knew that. That was given, I mean, that was already arranged. He got Eddie Hearn as his promoter, while Parker doesn't have a big promoter, and that's also unfair, of course. It was also unfair that the fight was in UK. Actually, it should have been somewhere on a neutral ground, like Monaco, for instance, or whatever. But what's done is done, of course. As I said, this was far, far from impressive night for Joshua. It was more Parker who was, who surprised. I believe many, and because many wrote him off just because he had those couple boring fights against Huey Fury and Razvan Soyanu. So but he proved here that he really is, elite level and very good fighter. He just isn't, a big heavyweight today. So today, I don't like this trend. We got heavyweights that are 6'7", 6'8". That's normal. No, come on. Yeah, I mean Joshua is almost an average heavyweight today. 6'6". He weighs like 250 pounds or something, 45. Yeah, so Parker had obviously lost a lot of weight also, for this fight, which may have worked against him, because even though he moved and boxed well, probably better than he would have had he been heavier. But on the other hand, he just couldn't hurt Joshua enough, so he couldn't, it was obvious. He only hurt him when he caught him coming forward, that was. But whenever he tried to, initiate something by himself, then, you could see those punches had very little effect on Joshua. Yeah, so now, what happens now? Yeah, of course, the Wilder fight is perhaps inevitable now for Joshua. Some people now already are saying, Wilder is going to beat him, knock him out. I don't think so, but who knows? Anyway, this was the first fight that showed that Anthony Joshua is not invincible, and yeah, when you put a guy in front of him that has a really good chin and is strong physically, a good boxer, all that, can move around also, has a tricky style, and then of course he's not so impressive, as against guys that just come forward and are there to be hit, So I knew from the start. I mean, this guy has his limitations. He's not equally good in all departments. Of course, his defense is also kind of leaky. And he he is open to counter punches. I think the best way to beat him is just simply to counter punch and not try to start the offensive by yourself. That's the best way. And if Wilder does that, which I'm sure he will, because he's a slow starter, then he will win. I think he has that big one punch power. Of course, right now, before I wanted Joshua to win really badly, but right now I'm kind of sour and pissed because of this really bad decision, and Joshua is being treated as some kind of a royalty, of course, in the boxing establishment. So I would almost want to, if Wilder wasn't such a jerk, I would want him to beat Joshua. And now I don't care, actually, really, I don't care who wins, almost. So yeah, I just hope that that fight will be a lot better than this one last night. So all credit goes to Parker, of course. He's a very nice guy, I think, and a good boxer. But today, if you are not 6'6" and don't have that big, huge punch it's obvious Parker can't punch, but he doesn't have that really big, concussive punch at heavyweight. At cruiserweight he would have, but not at heavyweight. So yeah, so that was it. Thank you.